I'm thankful that I have always felt like we do.
So you guys probably have to be really physically fit to be on the job. You go to the gym and stuff and work out, or what?
Although, in my opinion, unfortunately, it's not required. A lot of us do go to the gym and work out. I mean, God forbid you have to get into some sort of physical altercation with somebody and you're not able to defend yourself. So yeah, although not required, a lot of us do. If we feel like we want, in my opinion, I feel like if I want to serve the community effectively, I need to at least be in the gym. So.
Donut here and there isn't bad.
Do eat our donuts.
I hit one donut joke over here. Get it out of the way.
Yeah. Check.
Any questions, whether that's from what we covered today or anything else you have for Sergeant Ortega?
Big takeaway is reactive. The community is calling us to something. A lot of times we need some help from the community. Proactive, we're out trying to stop that from happening. All right.
Now, when you guys say you get called to a hostile situation, you're gonna go and just get in it, or you're gonna talk to the guy first?
Right,
Our
so-
deal was talk down before takedown. That's what we did in the prison. We talked the inmate down before he
Yeah.
take it. So is that what you guys did also?
Absolutely.
Or anything else?
That goes a lot into how we respond to things. If we're going reactively to a call, if it's a 911, it could be that we're lights and sirens. That's obviously the first indicator that something's wrong, right? A lot of times you can hear us from across town. So if we're coming up to a hot scene, lights and sirens, that's going to catch people's attention. Two, we get there. I mean, if things are really hitting the fan, we may go hands-on. If we can talk people down, obviously we'd rather do that
Usually
first.
you're not gonna fight, you're gonna do your spray, gas them, work or anything?
I'm sorry?
If you're getting there, there's a big fight, you're gonna start spraying them, or?
No, absolutely not. What if somebody's just trying to break it up?
Right.
Hey, you don't push the people apart and they get sprayed in the face, right? No, if we can, like you said, talk things down beforehand, then yeah, that's
Situation.
Yeah, situational, but
So if there's a guy with a knife, he's running at someone, no thought, we're not gonna yell at that guy and use verbal judo, we're gonna go hands on him,
Yeah.
get to him before he hurts anyone.
Threat assessment.
I know you guys don't do ambulances, but this morning when I got up to make coffee, like 4:30 in the morning, I was like, oh, there's lights. So I look outside and there's an ambulance 2 doors down, and the lights were on, no noise or anything. Why do you do that? Is it so if there's something wrong and like it's radioed in, like, oh, something's going down, that like it's real obvious where the issue's going down, or like why would you just leave lights on?
I guess if you're asking on a law enforcement,
Yeah.
so we may do it just so we're visible.
Okay.
If we have to stop in the middle of the street, and very suddenly for some reason we're going to leave our lights on, not our sirens, because then we'll just deafen everybody, right? But if we keep our lights on and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, we're not going to get hit.
Yeah.
People can go around us, or if we need to block off the road completely, we can do so with our lights. So there's a lot of reasons. One, definitely visibility. If we're there for a reason that we have to use our lights to begin with, then we're most likely to stay on.
Okay.
But that goes a lot into how we respond to reactive calls or proactive calls,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Checked on the neighbors and appendicitis, everything's fine. Anyway.
Gotcha, yeah, so a lot of times we're gonna keep them on just so we're visible, so we
Yeah.
don't get hit and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because if I'm not mistaken, isn't that like code 1, 2, and 3? Code
Yeah.
would be no lights, no sirens. Code 1 is just lights. Code 3 is sirens. Is that something you guys have discretion on? Because I know that I think I've heard on the radio before. It's like, oh, going to scene code 3, and then they zoom,
Yeah.
go zooming off. Because I know
There-
that's something depending on. If it's 4 in the morning, you don't want to wake up the whole neighborhood if it's
Yeah.
not an emergency.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes you don't want to alert the people you're coming, so
Exactly.
you might go even stealthier with no lights at all, or no bright lights.
So that's a big thing, especially we have a good knowledge of when times around town are busy and when times aren't. So late at night, if there's a call where we think could turn into a hostage situation, we're gonna try at our very best to avoid using our sirens to worsen things. So it's all situation dependent.
And that's something that's up to your guys' discretion
Yeah,
normally?
so I know
Or does
the-
dispatch normally say?
it could be a policy set into some departments that their dispatch will tell them this is a code 3 incident, you need to respond code 3. That's completely discretionary for us. If dispatch gives us a call, we may see that a code 2 response is okay. If, I'm trying to think of some situations, maybe if an officer is asking for backup, the other officer that's on shift may ask, hey, do you need emergent? Is it a serious enough situation that you need me to run lights and sirens? And they'll say, yeah. Or if he asks for cover and he doesn't necessarily say, I might let dispatch know, hey, I'm gonna go code 3 just so I can get there quick. You touched on a good point, time of day. If it's 3 in the morning and Randall's trying to sleep and we have a suspicious person, we're not gonna go code 3, right? More touching on more of the lights, if we're responding to maybe a domestic violence incident and we know the exact address, we may run lights, no sirens, up until a point we can get somewhere safe, and then we shut all of our lights off so we can listen. It's called visible deployment. We may show up with no lights once we get to an area where we can do so safely. That way we don't alert anybody that we're in the area, and we can hear, see a lot more than what we would have had we shown up with our lights blaring or sirens blaring. So it's all situational.
Yeah, you might notice that around town where we're hauling somewhere, and then you just see us flip every light off, everything. That's because we're usually dealing with something that could end up being potentially serious.
Now, obviously, state law does require, if we're breaking any sort of speeding laws, traffic laws, we need to at least be having lights or sirens. We can't just speed because, well, I need to get to the Taco Bell line or something like that. So,
I'm not sure, let's go.
yeah.
There you go, the donut shop closes at 2 minutes.
That's
I don't know, that might be valid enough.
Yeah.
But like to touch on that, I've had times where out in the country, there's been a storm. We've had times when the power line would break and there's line of wires on the ground, where you sit there with your lights on, but there's no point in having sirens on. You're just trying to get people to look and pay attention.
Traffic control.
Anytime that there's lights on, I slow down and kind of assess where I'm going, not just barrel through.
Absolutely.
Whereas the sirens don't really help with that.
Exactly. We may be doing traffic control in a neighborhood, and and if we kept our sirens on the entire time, the neighbors might be pretty mad. So, yeah.
Anything else for us tonight, guys?
Cool. Well, thank you all for coming out. Hopefully you got to learn a little bit about us. We learned a lot about you guys. See us around, say hi in the community. Like I said, we're starting some new things with the police department. So hopefully we'll be out and about. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Everyone get home safe.